Hi, thanks for coming. I think that a video about becoming Superman would be better if I had someone that was young and vigorous and strong looking actually make the video. Because when you look at the comic books, Superman is buffed out, isn't he? But that's a fantasy, isn't it? I mean, we don't see somebody called Superman out on the streets or even flying through the air. But I think the important thing about a video about becoming Superman, it's not dependent on the messenger. It's dependent on the message and the results that you get from following the message. So let me begin by asking you, if you were Superman, what would you be doing? What actions would you be taking? How would you use your time? What would you want to do? And the answer would come back, I guess. So, fight crime. Well, if you're going to fight crime, why wouldn't you become a cop or a lawyer or a district attorney, attorney general? Those are all aspects of being super. People talk about having supernatural powers. Well, somehow supernatural powers are also natural. Would you call Einstein a Superman? Certainly, he was a super thinker. How about Newton? Now, okay, so if you're going to start out being Superman, you better start somewhere with something. And I thought today that the thing that I would say is that I have people that studied with me that can display superpowers. But I think I've trained them too well because I'm the one making the video, not them. And why is that? Because in the comics, fantasies, you don't see the unintended consequences of displaying superpowers. And one of the unintended consequences is that people are going to challenge you. Bruce Lee, the famous martial arts expert, was challenged all the time. So one of the things that people that develop superpowers learn to do is to hide them, except when they're needed. That's what Superman did. So let's get back to you becoming a super person. And any study begins with making the brain smarter. There is a meditation concentration practice that turns the brain from a light bulb into a laser. It's called Tradak, Tradak. I have a link to the video about doing this many years ago. And I'm not going to tell in this video how to use that process. Why? Because the powers of the mind are like electricity. You can use electricity for good, you can use electricity for bad. You don't want to give a loaded gun to a young child, but you do want to give a loaded gun to a police officer who's going to go out and protect you. So, just to give you some idea that this has been around for a very long time. And I would invite you to go Google a couple of phrases. One is South Indian nath. So South Indian, okay, we're talking about the continent of India, the subcontinent of India, and we're talking about a group of people called nath, N-A-T-H. Go Google that. Also, go Google something called Kashmiri shavism. And I think you'll find that there's nothing about them. And it's not that they're not there, they're just hidden. They won't tell you who they are, what they do, because they don't want to be disturbed. Anyway, this is just a brief introduction to the ability to become a Superman or a Superwoman. And we'll see how far you go. You want to have quantifiable goals. In other words, have a goal that says you will get this result if you do this action. And so then you can say, after you did this, okay, just like going to university. I know a body of information, so therefore I'm qualified to be a medical doctor or a doctor of philosophy of science. In the same way, you'll get your PhD in being Superman. Thank you.